Now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, Victoria police need your help solving an early morning hit and run. What investigators know so far. A man is facing charges accused of attacking a woman with a gun and running her over. And Texas A&M Victoria nears the decision on its new president as the community shares their leadership expectations.
We're going to be talking about the heat and the humidity, and then we have to add in the hazy skies as dry air rolls in from the east. Meanwhile, to the west of us, big storms firing up near Lubbock this afternoon. We'll take a look at all that coming up in a moment.
And Victoria Generals have their season home opener tonight versus the Gumbo Gators. We'll highlight the Generals' past two games heading in. Coming up.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker. Shauna Curry is on assignment. A Victoria man is charged with indecency with a child. Victoria police executed a search warrant at a home in the 1600 block of Bonham Drive. They also had an arrest warrant for 36-year-old Terrence Thomas, who lived at the home. Thomas was not found there. He was found at a home in the 400 block of Haynes Road in Victoria County. Thomas was transported to the Victoria County Jail. He has bonded out. On June 5th, 2025 at 7:30 a.m., Victoria Police Department responded to the 1600 block of Edinburgh Street in response to a hit-and-run crash. The initial investigation revealed that a vehicle struck a pole and left the scene without making the required notifications. This is an ongoing investigation, and the BPD is following up on any leads. Anyone with information regarding this incident is encouraged to call Victoria Crime Stoppers at 361-572-4200. A Victoria man is facing aggravated assault charges after reportedly attacking a woman with a gun and then running her over with a vehicle. It happened last month in Pearland. The next day, 34-year-old Mark Guerrero was booked into the Brazoria County Jail. Since then, the Victoria County DA moved to revoke his 2022 probated sentence for burglary. The victim, 21-year-old Cody Pogue, suffered several broken bones and spent 2 days in the hospital. A fundraiser to help with her medical bills is set for June 29th at the Salty Heifer in Telfner. Tonight at 10, you'll hear from Pogue as she shares her story of survival and speaks out for women in abusive relationships. If you or someone you know needs help, call Midcoast Family Services at 361-573-HELP. The search is now underway to appoint the new president of Texas A&M University Victoria. The President's Search Advisory Committee has to identify at least 3 candidates to recommend to the Board of Regents for consideration. Whit Kiefer presented a listening session where people can voice their opinions and what type of leader they need. Alumni for the University of Houston Victoria and Victoria College say they want someone who is familiar with the city, great with time management, and someone who is adaptable to the community's needs. The exact date is not set, but the recruitment process will start mid-June. And here is today's viewer poll. What should be the top priority for the new Texas A&M Victoria president? Should it be improving academics, strengthening community relations, expanding campus facilities, or increasing student enrollment? That is a strong second place right now, 33% in at number 1, 57% improving academics at Texas A&M University, Victoria. We thank you for voting. We want to hear from you. Visit crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we'll have the latest results on 25 News now at 10. Here comes more hot days just like today. Let's go to Mac Pettis with the first look at the forecast. Mac, I was looking for that Sahara dust. I couldn't see it in the sun.
Not just yet, but the dust will be here and you'll see the hazy skies coming in, but we certainly are going to be looking at hotter days. Now, a few pop-up showers developed over the area with the sea breeze, but certainly nothing to cool you down. And as temperatures get into the mid-90s, our heat index will start getting up to near 110. So we'll talk about that and take a look at your weekend forecast coming up. Don?
Mac, thank you. And the Storm Prep 2025 program will air across the Victoria Television Group stations during this first week of June to kick off the beginning of hurricane season. It can be seen on KXTS Friday night at 10. The first trial of an immigrant accused of trespassing on the Texas border military zone ends in an acquittal. The trial of the Peruvian woman, 21-year-old Adeli Cruz Alvarez, was the first test of the Trump administration's new policy aimed at prosecuting immigrants who cross the border illegally with military-related charges. A federal jury and judge acquitted her of illegally entering a national defense area and military reservation after she crossed the Rio Grande from Mexico into Texas last month. The federal government is pulling the plug on many Job Corps locations throughout the country. One in Texas has about 800 students. But as Betty Cross reports, the government says the program is too expensive and has a low success rate.
My support structure was gone.
Michael Sanchez lost both of his parents within a year of each other. He was left with very few options until he discovered the Gary Job Corps Center.
It just completely altered the trajectory of my life. I was headed to prison or worse, guaranteed. There was no other way about that.
Michael graduated from the program and now works in the IT department. His success story is balanced by what the Department of Labor considers unacceptable results at Job Corps centers nationwide. The first Job Corps transparency report showed that nationwide in 2023, the average graduation rate was 38%. The average cost per graduate was $155,000. And after leaving the program, participants earned an average of $16,695 a year.
Let's work to make it better instead of turning it off.
Hayes County Judge Ruben Becerra says the national numbers do not accurately reflect the good results that are being achieved in San Marcos.
No organization is perfect. None, nowhere. So Gary will have opportunities for improvement. Of course they will. But shutting it all down, I don't believe that's a good option. That's not a good resolution.
Michael is weeks away from losing his IT job at the Gary Job Corps Center. He says it would be fairer to students, staff, and taxpayers if each center was evaluated individually and given the opportunity to improve outcomes and operations.
A lot of the students we deal with were already unsuccessful in traditional high school, and we're now successful with them here. And so like, oh, well, the kids are only making like 16 to 20 bucks an hour when they graduate. Well, they were making nothing before they came here. They were a complete drain, and they were probably headed in the same direction I personally was, jail or something else.
As of now, the pause in operations at the center is scheduled to happen by the end of the month, but a lawsuit challenging the funding cut is working its way through the court system. Texas lawmakers won't require private businesses to use E-Verify, despite GOP rhetoric citing concerns over labor and the economy. To read this full Texas Tribune article, visit our website, crossroadstoday.com. There was a big welcome home party at DFW Airport as Faizan Zaki returned from his national spotlight moment. The 13-year-old middle schooler from Plano ISD is now the 2025 Scripps National Spelling Bee champion. There he is. After 7 years of studying, including hours each day, and a second-place finish last year, Faizan finally took home the top prize. A crowd of family, friends, and fans greeted him with cheers, signs, and balloons. Zaki won $50,000 and plans to donate part of it to nonprofits supporting children in India. Graduation season is winding down, and we're celebrating the class of 2025 as they graduate. The message says, congratulations to Ernest. Congratulations, son. We are so proud of you. We look forward to your next chapter. Remember, the sky's the limit, and we're here to cheer you on. Love, Mom, Dad, Elias, and Jocelyn. Congratulations to Caden from Victoria East High School. The message says, we are so proud of you. You did it. Your dad would have been proud of you. Love, Mom, sister, and brothers. You have until June 13th to send in a photo and heartfelt message for your 2025 grad. We're featuring the grads on air and on social media. To send yours, go to crossroadstoday.com, then click the Entertainment tab, then click the Contest tab. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Then you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. President Trump revives a controversial travel ban targeting 19 countries. what it means for travelers, and national security. That's coming up on 25 News now at 6. Also ahead, a major legal decision blocks a case targeting American gun manufacturers. President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping held a phone call today. In a social media post after the call, Trump said he and Xi are planning to meet in person soon. In the post, Trump said the call lasted about an hour and a half, and the leaders talked about mostly trade. It's the first known call between the two leaders in Trump's second term, though the two spoke in January before Trump's inauguration. The call comes as tensions remain high between the two superpowers. One of the Chinese researchers charged with smuggling fungus into the U.S. will remain in custody until her case resumes next week. She and another Chinese researcher were charged with smuggling a biological pathogen they plan to study at a University of Michigan lab last summer. The fungus is described as, quote, a potential agro-terrorism weapon, unquote, that can cause disease in certain crops and can cause harm to livestock and people. They are not accused of planning to spread the fungus beyond the lab. President Trump issued travel bans and restrictions on 19 countries. It goes into effect Monday. It's like the travel ban from his first administration. Trump says national security concerns are the reason for the bans.
President Trump reviving one of his most controversial orders from his first term, issuing travel bans and restrictions on 19 countries. The White House says the countries lack proper vetting, fail to share identity and threat information, or exhibit high visa overstay rates.
We don't want to have other bad people coming into our country, but using the word bad, I'm being nice.
The travel ban mostly affects people from the Middle East and Africa. It includes Afghanistan, Burma, also known as Myanmar, Chad, the Republic of the Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. The partial travel restrictions affect people from Cuba, Venezuela, Sierra Leone, Togo, Burundi, Turkmenistan, and Laos. Travelers from those countries will not be able to come to the U.S. permanently or get student or tourist visas. Trump escalating his immigration crackdown in part because of the attack in Boulder, Colorado. The suspect charged in that case overstayed his visa, but his home country of Egypt is not on the list.
Egypt has been a country that we deal with very closely. They have things under control. The countries that we have don't have things under control. And why now? I can say that it can't come soon enough, frankly. We want to keep bad people out of our country.
Democrats responding, Congressman Adam Schiff says the ban will not improve national security, posting online, bigotry is not a national security strategy. President Trump says the list can be revised if countries make improvements and more countries can be added if threats emerge. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
The Supreme Court tossed out a lawsuit from the Mexican government against U.S. gun manufacturers. Today, the justices unanimously blocked a case brought by Mexico that charged American gun makers should be held responsible for violence by drug cartels on the southwest U.S.-Mexico border. The lawsuit sought billions in damages. The act allows lawsuits to go forward if they're based on an underlying violation of a state or federal law in the United States. Well, you never know where love is going to show up, like maybe in a massive wheat field in Kansas. A wheat farmer spent months planning and creating a heartfelt message to his wife.
Jesse Blasey has been a wheat farmer in Pratt for more than 20 years.
And it's all the little things that make you happy. It's when the wheat comes out of the ground. It's when a baby calf is born.
And the only thing he loves more than farming is his wife and family. He met his wife Sarah at K-State, and they first met in a bar.
As we were both driving home, we saw each other at a stoplight.
And it was love at first stoplight. So for their 20th wedding anniversary, he wanted to use his farming expertise to create a work of agricultural art to symbolize his love. This is the moment Sarah saw it from an aircraft just last week.
I knew it'd make her smile, and that was kind of the whole goal, was to get that little grin out of her that I like.
That's Jesse Blasey love. That's farmer love.
He was actually inspired by another, now famous, Pratt farmer.
So Lee Wilson planted a field of sunflowers for his wife, and I thought, man, that's a great idea. And so I've always wanted to do this pattern thing, and I'm like, okay, I could do that for Sarah. 20 years is coming up.
Jesse used advanced farming technology to do multi-variety prescription planting, using a John Deere air seeder to plant 2 different varieties of wheat in order to write this in his field.
There's actually 2 different varieties in the white color. It's a blend of 2. And then, like I say, this is just a red chaffed wheat.
Jesse began the planning process all the way back in October, creating this labor of love using more than 65 million red wheat seeds. The pair says they're blessed to be in love all of these years later, but it's the family they've created together they truly appreciate.
And even though I'm the farmer, she grows our best crop. Like, we got 2 girls, Reagan and Avery, and they are our best crop.
You should be able to see the wheat work of art until August or October of this year. But Jesse says it looks best from between 4,000 and 6,000 feet in the air.
Just him doing something like this just shows that it's just extra. It's just a little bit.
That's very cute. Ag Mechanics meets Cupid and out there in the field, and for everyone to see. Wonderful. Folks, well, it's 90 degrees right about now. It feels like 99. The winds are out of the southeast, and there will be for quite some time. We looked at a 92 as a high today. Our average is 90. We've been as warm as 100. I guess there's small thanks for little favors. The thing is, the heat and the humidity are going to be with us, and we have to add in the hazy skies. All that coming up in a moment. Well, if you enjoy the heat and the humidity today, you're really going to have a great time this weekend, because it's only going to be getting a little bit higher in the next couple of days. Again, we see a little pop-up shower activity around the area. Some of you might have been lucky. These are 10-minute showers, and that's about all we can get. Meanwhile, it's okay for us not to get severe weather. Out in the western portions of the state, we got a real nasty night going on, and it doesn't look like it's coming in our direction, but there you see San Antonio, here's Sonora. First, we have this monster storm right here in the Midland, Odessa, Fort Stockton area, as you can see right about there. That is one storm that is a severe storm, but if we go north, this one right there over Morton, as you see right about there, That one actually had a confirmed tornado in it. It is just on the outside of Morton, continues spiraling and heading toward Plainview. So Lubbock is to the south, Amarillo's to the north, and so it's going to be a tough night for the folks out there. For us, our rain chance is getting slimmer and slimmer because first, high pressure is building up, and then the dust is coming in. And, you know, we're just looking really hot stuff. This was today. We were at 105. If you thought it was bad, get a load of this. We're looking for 108 to 110. Now, at 110, that is where we put all kinds of advisories out. So we're looking at getting there. And this is the kind of situation where over the weekend and certainly early on Monday, you have to, you know, the fluids, the brakes, the light colored clothing, don't overextend yourself during the afternoon hours because it's going to be, the humidity could get you. We're looking at 77 as our low tonight, 76 to the west of us, still on the muggy side, so not a lot of cooling even at night. There you see the 93 for us, but 95 out here, 98 along I-37. So yeah, out western areas are going to be even warmer than that. In addition to all that heat and humidity, then we've got the Saharan dust, which is continuing to move into our area. It was over the Bahamas yesterday. It's now over Florida, and you can see little thin wisps of that being able to show up. But I do believe that by Friday, you really will see kind of a hazy sky, limited visibilities. Some of you with bronchial problems, emphysema, something like that, you may, you know, feel that. But it's going to be dry atmosphere that it's going to bring at the top of the atmosphere. The two potentials for tropical storm development have sort of gone away, which is all right. This one is definitely going to be strengthening up and will be likely Tropical Storm Barbara in a couple of days. So we are looking at your forecast for Port Lavaca, looking generally on the partly cloudy to mostly sunny side and high temperature of about 90. You'll definitely feel the humidity in the morning hours. It'll be just oppressive. And then 93 in Cuero with quite a bit of sunshine expected as we go through the afternoon. Now, the short term, this hazy spot here is no chance for rain. Next week, things get interesting because beginning on Tuesday, conditions will change and we have a good possibility of getting some shower activity around here. That is your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads a day on your phone. Don, back to you.
Thank you, Mac. And Max Williams is here with our Athlete of the Week.
That's right, Don. This week for our Athlete of the Week, we got a great candidate to showcase for everyone, so stay around to see who that will be coming up in sports. For our first Athlete of the Week in June, we're giving it to current Prodigy softball star and Destiny Munoz. And she's going to be attending her freshman year at Victoria East in about 2 months, but we'll see how she does when she gets there. But here's more for our Athlete of the Week. To start off the summer season, we're handing our Athlete of the Week to Prodigy softball player in Destiny Munoz. Munoz has played pitcher, shortstop, and second base for all of her 6 years. She's played softball, but softball isn't the only sport Munoz plays. She also plays volleyball, basketball, soccer, cross-country, track, and even flag football. With all these sports she's played, she still enjoys softball the best.
Play is softball because I have more experience with it. I played 6 years of it. And I just have more fun playing it because I just know what, like, I know the game.
Her joy for softball began at 8 years old, where she started with the Texas Crossroads Softball Organization until they merged into Prodigy this summer. She's trained with different trainers in hitting with Cosme Rosales, and then strength and conditioning with Chris Grant, and then ex-MLB player Humberto Quintero in hitting and fielding, which Munoz appreciates his guidance.
Fielding, so he helps me with shortstop, and the shortstop, like, he makes me have more range so I can get the balls more. Like, it's really fun going with him. He pushes me hard too.
Along with her high knowledge from the softball field, Munoz has excelled in the classroom, being named a National Honor Society and receiving top honors in her grade. She hopes to bring her smarts in the classroom and competitiveness on the field to Victoria East this upcoming season.
I'm going to take all my hard work, and I'm going to take just everything I learned to bring it over there and try to get on varsity if I can.
Along with playing for Prodigy this summer, Munoz will play on Monday nights at the U Sports Complex for East High School for summer ball. Can't wait to see how she does at East, and congrats to Destiny Munoz for being this week's Athlete of the Week.
All right, from this week's Athlete of the Week to this week's weekly fishing report, where if you're planning out to go fishing this week, like Matt kind of mentioned earlier, be sure to bring a bucket hat and some sunscreen. It's going to be hot, hot, and hot. We're going to start around there, Colorado Creek this weekend. The water's going to be good there at 87 degrees. And if you want to catch out bass, they're good there on soft plastics. And then around Port O'Connor, the water's a little bit cooler at 78 degrees, but trout are good there in the early morning times. And around Bird Island, some live crocker, you can use some jack crevalle, some bull redfish are schooling out on that surface as well, just between the jetties and that Bird Island area around that spot. And how about Rockport? We haven't mentioned East Matagorda Bay a couple times, but we haven't mentioned Rockport in a minute. If you want to go to Corpus area, the water there is good at 80 degrees, where trout are great there with live shrimp. You can use piggy perch in flats also along the channels. Now over to Victoria Generals, where tonight they have their home opener versus the Gumbo Gators at 7:05 p.m. So in about 30 minutes time, the Generals heading into this one are 2-0 so far this season after sweeping the Seguin River Monsters 12-6 in game 1 there. And then in game 2, they won 10-1 there last night. The Generals look to showcase again star athletes and TCL Player of the Year last season, Travis Bragg, and then top outfielder Damian Whitfield. Also keep an eye on Dalton Mullins as well. Another returner kind of stepped up as well these past 2 games for the Generals. So awesome highlights later on 25 News Now Sports at 10 p.m. Now from the Generals to a top-level high school all-star game, where the top softball players across the crossroads will compete against 4 teams that are going to be split up individually. Some names I kind of remember from this going to be in this all-star game. It's Cueros, Julianne Cox, Calhoun's Lauren Chavon, St. Joseph Shane Meismer, and more. So again, they had some fun activities earlier. That a home run derby that started at 5:30 p.m. So just like again with the Generals game, I'm going to get some highlights and maybe some possible interviews later on for our 10 p.m. newscast. And finally, big news, if you haven't heard earlier, Green Bay and New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers has officially signed a 1-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he will be attending the Steelers minicamp there next week. And Don, that's some crazy news. We were thinking that, most people were thinking, right, Aaron Rodgers was probably going to get there to go to Pittsburgh, but were you surprised that it took this long to kind of get this situated for Aaron Rodgers, you think?
Can't predict him. But, Max, what is the major sporting event that starts on this station tonight?
Man, Don, good thing you caught me up. It is, again, the NBA Finals, right? We got to get Indiana Pacers. You got Oklahoma City Thunder. It's going to start there 7:30 p.m. there, everybody, right here on KVU TV. So probably go on a little bit late, but hey, good game to watch for sure, Don. Who do you got? Got any predictions for tonight? Or?
I think I'll go with Max's favorite team. That's the Thunder. How about that? Hey, we're back in a moment, and now up for auction, an item for one of the most popular movies of the 1980s. Ferris is one righteous dude. A piece of 80s film history is up for auction. Bidding starts today on the iconic vest worn by Matthew Broderick in the John Hughes classic Ferris Bueller's Day Off. There it is. The auction coincides with the 40th anniversary of the film's release. Sotheby's estimates the screen-worn costume piece could go for anywhere up to $600,000. Wow. The vest will be on public display at Sotheby's New York auction house until bidding ends on the 24th. Anybody want to make a bid on that?
I might have to pass.
I have a cardigan I'll use instead.
We got other things to do.
If you pay that much for it, should you really go out on the town with it?
I would not go out on town wearing that sweater in this weather.
Well,
no.
And there's the other part. You won't be needing that for a while.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We've got some hot, steamy weather for you, folks. It was 105 heat index today, and by the time we get to the weekend, we'll be at 110. So it's going to be that kind of situation where you just got to take it easy in the middle part of the afternoon and don't overexert yourself. The good news, next week, got a good shot at getting some rain around here. Don, back to you.
We need it. We need it desperately. All right. Thank you, Mac, and thanks for joining us. We'll see you tonight for 25 News Now after Game 1 of the NBA Finals.